Now on WWAY News at 11, I'm Kylie Jones, live in Carolina Beach, where a man has reportedly drowned. I'll have more for you coming up. David said absolutely no officer should be criminally charged in this shooting. Now, at the news conference just a little while ago, officials went through a detailed timeline of what exactly happened that night Tremblay was shot. Actually, we're getting one of those gusts of wind right now where the wind really picks up and the rain just comes down on you. We got here a little while ago, like I said. The drive down here was not too bad at first, but conditions were getting worse. You can see behind me a little bit, the scene has just started to clear out minutes ago. The Carolina Beach police say they got a call around 8 p.m. about a man who was unconscious and not breathing. Lamont says even if you can't afford a brand new car with an existing backup cam, you can buy your own backup cam and have it easily installed on your existing car. I'm going to take you around to the front of this neighborhood. Again, this is the farm at Brunswick in Carolina Shores. And these neighbors are kind of just milling around. You look up right here, you're looking at a roof that is just completely demolished on this side. If you work in Wilmington and you're headed home to Leland for the night or vice versa, you may want to leave soon, not just because of the weather, but because the Isabel Holmes Bridge right behind us will be closing to rush hour traffic. The verdict coming in just minutes ago, and it only took the jury about 45 minutes to make the decision and convict David Gore of involuntary manslaughter. The app will now show an individualized route for each bus, plus each parent will be able to track their child's bus right through their phone. Things here on Alton Lennon Road really have not changed in the last 6 months. As you can see behind me, they pretty much look exactly the same. You can see the road is still in pieces and it's completely impassable. The desperate search is over. 4-month-old Lanisha Askew is safe and arrives at the Bladen County Sheriff's Office into the arms of Sheriff Jim McVicker.
It's been a good day. Good day. Okay? Baby's good. Good to go.
A scary 24 hours that started the moment the baby was abducted from Little Hands Daycare Monday. The baby's mother, Juanita Askew, does not have custody of the child and is accused of taking her.
She came to the front and told us that she was going to take the baby to DSS because she saw a little something going on with the baby and she was going to take the baby. So my secretary told her she wasn't on the sign-out sheet to pick up the child. But we asked her not to leave with the baby, but she proceeded on out the door and she left anyway.
Lanisha has been in a foster home and has a serious medical condition. Law enforcement worried that Juanita would not know how to provide proper care. Sheriff McVicker says Askew's family convinced Juanita to hand her daughter over to them. The family then gave the baby to the sheriff's office.
Everybody did a wonderful job. Robb County Sheriff's Office, our people, and they coordinated this thing with some of the kin, and they agreed to go to the bus station and pick this child up.
Juanita Askew and a male friend were taken into custody around Lumberton.
Everybody kept their cool, had a lot of patience, and when the car drove up the child, we took the child out of the incident. The one that brought the child drove off. We went 3 or 4 blocks down the road and stopped them and made an arrest without incident, so it's been a good day.
EMS looked over the baby, who was not hurt, a team effort that ended in success.
I just thank God it was a good day for everybody, and we're pleased.
I was shocked because you don't expect stuff like that to happen around here, and then to find out it's pretty much your neighbor. It's very scary.
Never in a million years did neighbors expect something like this to happen in Willard.
You just usually hear it happening far away or across seas, something like that. But when it happens in your hometown, it's like you just can't believe it.
Little did Ashley Gerganis know it was happening just feet from her home. It started when the Pender County Sheriff's Office got a 911 call Friday, August 9th. Officials say it came from a 24-year-old woman saying she was being held against her will at a home on NC 11. That led deputies to find the woman and her 8-month-old baby inside. There, they arrested 54-year-old James Brian Peterson.
A search warrant was conducted of his residence, his home. Additional charges were made today. 1 count of human trafficking of an adult and 1 count of human trafficking of a child.
Plus 1 count of sexual servitude. Those are just a few of the new string of charges that Sheriff Alan Cutler announced Friday.
That was even like the more tough part to read, knowing that that kid was back there.
Gerganis says there was a solar company behind his home, so it was normal to see people in and out.
I think he kind of, maybe kept to himself. I never really seen him in and out much.
Another neighbor says she never knew anybody even lived in the house.
Trafficking can be in the form of servitude, in the form of working without being adequately compensated and essentially being held in what amounts to human slavery. And then there's also a component that can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt in various cases that involve a sexual component.
In the meantime,
I just got to watch my surroundings these days, because you never know.
Fletcher Collins says he's made nearly 100 custom caskets for people of all ages. And this one that he's delivering right now is one of those extra special projects, and it's going to a little boy.
We know we cannot take the pain away from a family, but it's our God-given gift and desires to help share it.
It's not something you would expect to find joy in. Fletcher Collins grew up loving to paint, but that was not exciting enough for him.
I don't like traditional things. I don't like normal.
That's when Collins told his dad about a dream he had. It took things to a whole new level.
I said, I want to start designing caskets. He said, Fletcher, you come up with some of the wildest ideas. He said, but I know you'll be good at it. Well, 6 months later, he was my first customer.
And he never stopped. 6 years later, Collins and his team at Glorious Custom Designs have made nearly 100 custom caskets.
A plain casket, it does not characterize the beloved. It doesn't leave that warm impact when you're sitting there at a funeral setting. So we wanted to do something different that would help bring back good memories.
Collins makes each casket from scratch, then hand delivers them to families all over the country. This one for a 6-year-old Alabama boy who drowned last week.
He said his son loved Paw Patrol, and Chase was his favorite character of the Paw Patrol.
Collins crafted a casket into a Paw Patrol boat, all in less than 24 hours. He says the work is nothing compared to the joy he can bring families in their darkest times.
It's more than a blessing. It's more than an honor. I find it greatly amazing for God to have chose me and to allow me to have the gift that he gave me and to give this gift back.
If you know the God that we serve, he's a provider, and he sends help in the time of need. We don't know how it's going to get. We didn't know how it was going to come, but we knew it was going to come. This is a miracle. If anybody want to not read about a miracle, see a miracle, just come to White Stocking.
This wasn't their first flood. People who live in the White Stocking community know devastation. 6 months ago, Florence left Sandhill AME Church underwater. This week, more helpers on the horizon, here to rebuild more than just hope.
It's really just to make a miracle for this church. They've been praying for it since the flood, and they had no idea how this was all going to happen. We call them holy hookups, when the Lord just intervenes in the very special way that he does, and we're here to make a miracle.
Becky Hetzer works with Hosanna Industries, a construction nonprofit from Pennsylvania. Her team is here this week to restore the church's dining hall from the ground up. Pastor Sandra David says this is one of many blessings over the past 6 months. She says the church is on step 1 of recovery. After that, she says everything else will follow.
Because once you see one thing start, God is, he finishes up what he starts, you know, and so it's going to be okay. If you know the God that we serve, he's a provider, and he sends help in the time of need. We don't know how it's going to get. We didn't know how it was going to come, but we knew it was going to come. This is a miracle. If anybody want to not read about a miracle, see a miracle, just come to White Stocking.
This wasn't their first flood. People who live in the White Stocking community know devastation. 6 months ago, Florence left Sandhill AME Church underwater. This week, more helpers on the horizon, here to rebuild more than just hope.
It's really just to make a miracle for this church. They've been praying for it since the flood, and they had no idea how this was all going to happen. We call them holy hookups, when the Lord just intervenes in the very special way that he does, and we're here to make a miracle.
Becky Hetzer works with Hosanna Industries, a construction nonprofit from Pennsylvania. Her team is here this week to restore the church's dining hall from the ground up. Pastor Sandra David says this is one of many blessings over the past 6 months. She says the church is on step 1 of recovery. After that, she says everything else will follow.
Because once you see one thing start, God is, he finishes up what he starts, you know, and so it's going to be okay.